Welcome back to the Rabbit Hill Inn Kitchen. Today I'm going to make a breakfast for you that I've served here, and it's kind of a surprise. People are surprised to have it on the menu, but they try it because it's just different and unique. And I'm going to make a chowder with poached eggs. So I kind of got the idea thinking egg drop soup and chowder, and you keep trying to think of different new things to serve, and it's something that guests really like, and it's really good on a cool morning or a winter morning. Or to start out, I have some bacon that I've had small diced, some onion, and celery and fennel. I'm going to make it just a potato chowder. You could use anything you want. You could use ham, anything that you like for breakfast. And even if you like clams, you could have clams and eggs for breakfast. So the first thing you'd like to do is to try out the bacon. And that means I would put it in the pan, and I've done this at a time, and we cook it down so the bacon becomes crunchy and it takes all the oil out, and we'll use that oil to cook the vegetables with. The next thing we add, when the oil's nice and hot and the bacon is brown, is the onions and the celery. And we want to cook that to a translucence and kind of develop the flavor. This should take about 4 to 5 minutes. And in the meantime, I've cut about 2 potatoes up to a small dice, covered it with a little salted water, and boiled them just till tender. I like to do this ahead of time. We use the water too. It gives a nice thickening from the potato starch. And I've also heated up about 2 cups of heavy cream. When the onions and celery have turned translucent and have a nice flavor, this is the time where I like to add the flour. By adding the flour, we are making a roux, and the bacon fat coat the granules of flour, and when we add the cream, it'll make a nice sauce without the lumps. So you want to, as a thickener, I just use a little bit of flour. Okay, we want to cook the roux, the flour taste out of the roux. You don't want a raw flour taste. So that should cook for about 2 minutes or so. And at this point, I'm actually going to pour the cooked potatoes in. You don't want them mushy because they're still going to cook a little bit in the chowder, but you want them to bite al dente. You want it to be able to have cooked, because you don't want crunchy potatoes in your chowder. So I'm actually going to remove this from the heat. I've given that a small stir, and then I'm going to actually add the cream. And then I'm going to return it to the heat and slowly bring it up to a boil. I'm going to add salt and pepper. The bacon will add a little saltiness, but the cream will take some of that away. I like black pepper on my chowder. I just think it has the flavor that New England chowder is supposed to have. And even though there's black specks, I just feel like that's the chowder I was brought up on. So. Okay, we're going to set that on the back burner and let it simmer a little bit, and we'll get the poaching water ready for the eggs. Okay, so I have my poaching water going, and I don't want it rolling boil. I want it to boil. I just want it to simmer, so it's just right before you get to a boil. The components of the chowder, it should simmer for maybe 10 to 15 minutes just to get all the flavors melding together and bring it to the right thickness. But don't boil it. I would simmer it again and always stir it to make sure you have cream in there now, and you don't want it to stick to the bottom. I'm going to add a little more pepper. And I've cut up some butter here, and I'm just going to add that onto the top. Let that finish the chowder off. Okay, and I've placed some toast right on top of the chowder. And from here I found my poached eggs. Everybody has a different degree of how they like their poached eggs, but usually you try to have them soft so when they break open it'll mix into the soup also, but everybody has their own preference with that. And we'll garnish it with some fresh chopped chives from our herb gardens. And there we go, a nice hearty breakfast.